So, I just got to see the Bikeriders. Yet again, another one I'm a little bit late on. It's because I was on vacation for a week. I apologize. This is the brand new film directed by Jeff Nichols, the same guy who's made movies like Mud, starring Matthew McConaughey, and of course, Loving. This film is about a bunch of, well, bike riders. It's about a bike gang, and it spans the course of about a decade and tells the story of how they kind of descended into something very different than how they started. It's a terrible description of the movie. Here's a better one. Imagine Red Dead Redemption 2, but with a biker gang. That's what this is. And I gotta say, I had a very high interest in this movie when it was first shown off a year ago. It was supposed to be a late 2023 release, and I was very excited for this movie. It ended up getting pushed back at the last minute for some reason. I was very upset about it, but now we have it and I've seen it, and I loved it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think biker gangs are awesome. I think biker gang movies are also awesome, and there are not enough of them. There is Sons of Anarchy, a TV show, but I just do not have the time investment to watch, what, 8 or 9 seasons of that right now? Maybe one day. So this is like a 2-hour version of that. I do have time for 2 hours. And this film, which is loosely based on a true story, follows Tom Hardy, who plays this guy Johnny, who leads this biker gang. And he's kind of this hard-nosed, badass leader, this take-no-bullshit type of guy. And I gotta say, and I'll get more into it when I talk about the performances specifically, but Tom Hardy is so good in this role. This is easily one of my favorite characters of the year so far. I loved it. But the main two characters here are Benny and Kathy, played by Austin Butler and Jodie Comer. This couple that fall in love over the course of the movie, and they are together, and it's kind of just a study of their relationship and how it connects to the biker club and how it connects to Austin Butler's character just as a human being. And yeah, this movie structurally is very similar to like a Martin Scorsese mob movie. That's clearly kind of what they were going for. If you've seen Goodfellas, if you've seen The Irishman, if you've seen Casino, it's kind of what you're getting here, just maybe not as well done because you can't really completely emulate that style, especially if you don't have Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro. But it's the same style of like fast-paced, decade-spanning sort of crime thriller, which is more of a character study. And what are the characters here? Well, the characters are pretty good. Jodie Comer plays, obviously, the wife of Austin Butler, and she plays kind of like the typical wife that you would see in, like, a mob movie. Somebody who is very willing to allow their husband to go into these dangerous situations. In fact, that's why they kind of fall in love with them in a weird way, but at the same time, their relationship kind of soils and tarnishes over the course of the film because of some of the dangers that they're both being put into. Jodie Comer does a really good job in this role. She's a fantastic actress that I feel like has yet to really hit the mainstream, has yet to really have that one role that completely breaks her out and puts her on the map as one of the best in Hollywood, but she's on that track. She is incredible, and if you see this movie, you're going to be highlighted by one of her performances. She also kind of sounds like the Apparently kid in this movie.
It was great, and apparently I've never been on live television before.
Her voice is just incredible. And speaking about voices, Austin Butler's here. His performance in this movie, it's probably my least favorite thing about this whole movie, and it's not because it's bad, it's just because it's like nothing for me, if I'm gonna be honest. It's almost kind of a waste of Austin Butler's talents, if I'm gonna be just completely honest with you. I didn't love his character, and I think his character's the weakest part of this movie, and I'll explain why. So he plays Benny, kind of this rough and tough kid. He's this weird, quiet, mysterious dude that's in the club, this young, good-looking dude who's a little angry, he's got a hot streak, and is just as generic as it comes. He's the mysterious anime guy. He's the creepy dude in the back corner of the bar that nobody messes with because he might spring up and hit ya. I don't really get his character. I don't get his motivations. I don't really understand his love story with Jodie Comer's character. I don't think it necessarily works particularly well. It works well enough to sell the scenes later in the movie that need to be sold, but for early on in the movie, it just didn't work for me at all. And his character throughout the film, when the camera was on him and we were following the stuff he was going through, I was just not very interested. It was the least interesting parts of the movie, and it's a shame, because Austin Butler is legitimately one of the best actors in Hollywood. I think he's given the best performance of the year so far in Dune. Speaking of Dune and speaking of Austin Butler, this is this movie's edition of What Voice is Austin Butler Doing? I'm gonna call this series Butler's Voice. Well, he's not doing an Elvis here. I think he's broken out of the Elvis. It does sound more like a Fade Rotha, just maybe not like the griddle of like the Skarsgård type, my Arrakis, my Dune. Like, it's not that, but he's got that low tone, and he's a badass biker and a mysterious anime guy. That's what you get in this movie. And some people are gonna dig that. I thought it was kind of boring. What was not boring, though? Well, everybody else. Tom Hardy. My God, if you forget how good Tom Hardy is because he's been wasting the last few years making Venom movies, well, go see this movie. Tom Hardy's incredible. He is terrifying, but also so comforting in a way. His character, I almost compare it to like Robert De Niro in some of the mob movies he's done, where he is terrifying. He is kind of scary because he's this daunting dude who's not afraid to get his hands dirty, but he's also got this warm side to him where you feel safe while watching the movie and imagine him being part of the gang. He's a leader of men. He's an inspiring figure, and you could see why the people like being in this gang with him and being under him and working for him, essentially. He's so good here. Tom Hardy sells it all. There are just the best scenes in this movie are scenes where he's just leading the biker gang. And he's got a great voice, too. They all got great voices here. It's not so much like, you thought biking was your ally. I was born on a bike. It's not that. You're not getting that. You're getting more like his Venom voice. You know, just high, well, not the Venom voice, but like the Eddie Brock voice. Tom Hardy's the best part of this movie. He's incredible. Also really good here is Mike Feist. He doesn't do much in this movie. He's just kind of there, but he's great to see in a movie. There's just something about that guy. He's got an aura to him that it makes you smile. Don't believe me? Go watch Challengers. He has a lot more to do in that movie. Michael Shannon's also here. He also doesn't do too much, but when he is on screen, it's like, my God. I would like to see more. I would have liked to see him pop up a couple more times, have a couple scenes to really let his voice out. I will find him! I love Michael Shannon, if you couldn't tell. I fucking love Man of Steel. He's great in this movie, though. Boyd Holbrook's in this movie. Gonna be honest, I didn't realize the character that Boyd Holbrook played was Boyd Holbrook till right now, so good for him. He immersed himself in the character so much, I didn't even notice it was him. Currently rewatching Narcos for like the 50th time. Boyd Holbrook, so good in that show. Go watch Narcos. My God, is it underrated. I might make a video on it. I will make a video on it now that I'm thinking about it. Norman Reedus is in this movie, and this is the first time in a very long time I have seen Norman Reedus play a character that wasn't Daryl Dixon. And yes, I know he's been in other stuff, but when he is in other stuff, he plays Daryl Dixon. When he was in Death Stranding, he played Daryl Dixon if Daryl Dixon was an Amazon delivery driver. He played the same exact character, and that's not a bad thing. Daryl's awesome. Norman Reedus has a thing, and it works. It's like Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves has a thing, and it works. Well, he does something a lot different in this movie, and it also works. Norman Reedus is just so weird. He's kind of layered under makeup and prosthetics, and he looks great, and he is just so much fun in this character, and you can tell he's having fun, and I'm so glad to see Norman Reedus doing something like this. Cast him more, Hollywood. We love Norman Reedus. This cast is unbelievable, though. It's just top to bottom is great. The overall story that's told in this movie, too, I also think is well done. It really is, yet again, a character drama following the overall journey of this bike gang and how it goes from being kind of like a club and transforms into kind of something darker. You get the violence. You get the grit. This movie has a visual aesthetic to it that really makes it feel kind of dirty and rusty in a way, but just kind of the grittiness of actual bikers and biker gangs, right? It's kind of like a weird, dirty business in a way. I do think this film could have benefited from being rated R because some of the fight scenes and the violence that actually occurs, you don't get to see all of it, which, you know, they pull back from it. And now that I see it actually is rated R. So I guess they just didn't want to show the violence. I don't know. At times, I do think the story can be disjointed. You could be a little bit confused on where they are in the timeline. They kind of jump back and forth a little bit. There's not as much ease as someone like Martin Scorsese will have doing a film in this format. Yet again, the Austin Butler stuff I think is kind of weak. I love where the film goes in its conclusion. Yet again, I think the ending of this film is really brilliant and smart. This movie, though, flies by. It's never boring. It's got a really good pace. It's extremely entertaining. It's even funny at times, even hilarious at times. It's dark. You have great performances, a great ensemble of characters, besides some little nitpicks here and there that kind of take the film down. I can recommend this film 100%. I think this is something that everybody should go see. I think everybody will find something to enjoy from this film. It's a fun movie to show your parents or something, I guess. Yeah. Is it going to be one of the best movies of the year? Probably not, but it's one of the movies that I will be talking about at the end of the year. It's one of the better movies we've got, because we've gotten a lot of shit movies this year. We've also gotten a lot of masterpieces. This is one of those kind of like middle-tier good movies. And I'm happy I saw it. I really enjoyed this one. It was worth my time. I will give the Bikeriders a 4 out of 5. It is a really good movie. What do you guys think of the Bikeriders? Let me know down below. Do you guys ride bikes? I don't ride bikes, but I still like the movie. But let me know if you ride bikes. I don't know. Please make sure to subscribe to notifications. I upload every single day, so please stick around. I'll see you guys in the next one.